This is the Bay Area's news station. KRON4 News at 11 starts now.
San Francisco Giants slugger Pablo Sandoval questioned by police about a sexual encounter. His lawyers say it was consensual. Tonight, what the victim says happened and what Giants fans have to say about it. KRON4's Da Lin has been following the story since it broke today. He joins us live with the latest. Da?
Well, Pablo Sandoval, whose nickname is Panda, is a fan favorite, so a lot of fans are in disbelief and shocked by the accusation.
Sandoval hammers it.
One of the best hitters on the Giant squad is facing a curveball that could ruin his career. Rape allegation. Pablo Sandoval's attorney admits his client had sex with a woman early Friday morning, and that's where the agreement ends. Sandoval claims the sex was consensual, but Santa Cruz County Sheriff's investigators say the woman claims she was too drunk to give consent. Giants fans at Saturday's baseball game have mixed feelings about the accusation.
If somebody's too intoxicated to give consent, then it's not consensual sex, so it's rape. If I were on the jury, I would convict based on that evidence.
It has to do with money. People in the bad economy, they're at the point of, what can I do to make money, or what can I get money?
Sandoval is on the disabled list and not playing with the team. Investigators say the all-star third baseman met the woman for the first time Thursday night in the Santa Cruz area. The sex apparently happened early Friday morning at a hotel. The woman filed a police report shortly after at 4:25 that same morning. Many fans say he's innocent until proven guilty and that they still love Panda.
Panda's the man, and he's an upright guy, and I'm sure the truth will come out in the trial.
If she was that drunk and she was obviously drunk, I feel a little strongly about him having better judgment. He should have just left her alone.
Investigators questioned Sandoval but did not detain or arrest him. They say the investigation is ongoing. The Giants declined to comment on the allegation. Investigators are not identifying the woman because of the nature of the accusation. Grant?
New tonight, it's one of San Francisco's biggest parties of the year, the Black and White Ball. Thousands of partygoers decked out in their finest formal attire, hitting the Symphony Hall tonight. And right there, in all the glitz and glamour, KRON4's own Vicki Liviakis.
Grant, Vicki Liviakis here, playing a little hooky. I'm here at the Black and White Ball. This happens every 2 years to support the symphony. They call it a party with a purpose. And there are several hundred people here who are partying with a serious purpose. I just left the Paul Simon concert in the background right now. The Wallflowers are performing. They've got Cyndi Lauper, the Drifters, all kinds of music. And of course, the proceeds of this go to support music in the schools. Everything's just now getting warmed up. The music, that is. It's a pretty cold night out here, so we're all bundled up. Reporting from San Francisco, Vicki Liviakis, KRON4 News.
Yeah, it definitely is cold out there for this evening, and windy and foggy. Temperatures today were a lot cooler than what we saw the past few days. Temperatures inland just into the mid-80s with 60s by the bay. Tomorrow is shaping up to be a similar day. Those readings today were about 10 to 12 degrees cooler over what we had yesterday. And for tonight, we have a weather system that's offshore. We've already seen a few high clouds ahead of this system, but the brunt of this storm is forecast to arrive on Monday. Ahead of that, it looks like a nice day for tomorrow, but we're going to see the chance for rain coming up Monday. I'll talk more about it coming up. Grant?
All right, thanks, Brian. High winds helped fuel a brush fire on the peninsula today. It burned nearly 10 acres and cut off power to more than 1,000 customers. The blaze sparked this afternoon along Bayshore Boulevard in Brisbane. Planes were brought in to help fight the flames. The fire came close to homes, but no structures were damaged. No one was hurt. The cause of this fire still under investigation. Hundreds came out to honor 2 San Francisco firefighters who died in the line of duty 1 year ago today. A crowd gathered around Fire Station 26, where firefighters Vincent Perez and Anthony Valerio worked. The 2 firefighters were killed in a house fire in Diamond Heights last year.
It's rough the first month or so, but then the healing process kind of begins. We start going to all these award ceremonies, all these tributes. We see that my brother will never be forgotten.
Fire officials unveiled a dedication plaque with today's date and the names of Valerio, Perez and Louis Mambriti, a third firefighter who was killed in the line of duty 17 years ago. The ceremony overlooked a garden behind the fire station featuring a stone fountain, 2 benches, and 3 cherry trees planted for each of the fallen firefighters. San Francisco police are searching for the person who hit a pedestrian and then fled the scene. The victim was severely hurt in that crash. KRON4's Nicole Shanafelt shows us what happened.
The hit-and-run accident happened here at the corner of Bryant and 3rd Street, just near AT&T Park. Now, according to police, it was just after 10 p.m. on Friday evening when a vehicle traveling eastbound on Bryant Street crossed 3rd and hit a pedestrian walking across the crosswalk. The driver then fled the scene. Police say the victim was a man in his 50s. He survived the accident and was transported to San Francisco General Hospital with moderate to major injuries. Now, investigators say the suspect was driving a dark sedan. That vehicle may now have front-end damage. Reporting in San Francisco, I'm Nicole Shanafelt, KRON4 News.
The name of a man arrested in a deadly San Ramon jewelry store robbery has now been released. Police say Krishneil Prasad was one of the robbers who fled the scene of the botched crime. Investigators say a total of 4 robbers, one with a gun, entered Golden Treasure store Wednesday. A person inside the store shot and killed one of the suspected criminals, but the other 3 took off, and 2 of those suspects have still not been caught. A man accused of robbing then stabbing an 84-year-old is behind bars tonight. This is the suspect, Damon Hamilton. Fairfield police say the crime happened at a motel around midnight Friday. It started when the victim refused a prostitution offer from a woman who knocked on his door. Investigators say that's when Hamilton forced his way into the room, stabbing the victim, then running off with cash. He is charged with attempted murder. A $100 gift card to turn in a working weapon and help dangerous guns get off the street. That was the offer today by community groups working with Oakland police. KRON4's Craig Sklar tells us recent crimes were a motivating factor for some people.
It looks like a military post, but this dead-end street is where Oakland police bought back guns from the street, like this gun, a small caliber handgun. There's no shortage of them on the streets of Oakland, just as there's no shortage of homicides. That's why Joyce Phillips came to sell 2 of them for $100 gift certificates, but she says it wasn't for the money.
Enough. We've had enough. And I'm tired of it, you know. It's too much violence, you know, and young people, they wasting their life. Let's try to clean Oakland.
It's just ridiculous that it keeps happening because kids are innocent.
Images of murder scenes like this one on International Boulevard last year are fresh wounds to the community. 3 children dead in less than a year from drive-by shootings.
It's time to get together and unite, Oakland.
So the gun buyback was a way for a number of community groups to fight back and make a statement, get the guns out of the hands of those doing the most harm.
You know, we got to get all of this off the street, and how we're going to do it, it's going to take a lot of work.
In Oakland, Craig Sklar, KRON4 News.
San Jose police have arrested a man who they say caused more than $30,000 in graffiti damage. Robert Sadek now faces felony vandalism charges. Investigators say he spray painted his trademark, which resembles Felix the cat, in highly visible San Jose locations, including freeways. And this man is in jail tonight after police say he ran naked through San Jose's airport. Police say they started chasing Robert Isaac Monroy in the airport parking garage this morning, but he then led them into Terminal B and assaulted an officer. He's also accused of breaking into the airport's fire station this morning, where police found his clothes. Still ahead at 11, a gunman opens fire at a popular tourist destination. The dramatic scene after the shooting spree. Plus, 2 Sacramento County deputies accused of running an illegal gun scheme where prosecutors say the weapons ended up. And 9 families in need getting new homes in the Bay Area, but they had to partially pay for them with sweat. Those stories and more next at 11. In Canada, a gunman opened fire inside one of the country's most popular shopping malls. Eaton Centre Mall is a popular tourist destination in Toronto. Police say the shooting at the mall happened near the food court. 1 person was killed, 7 others hurt. Police are still looking for the shooter. A judge sentenced former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak to life in prison today for his role in the killing of protesters last year. But many in Egypt still aren't happy. Tens of thousands took to the streets today in protest. Melissa Rainey has more.
Although 84-year-old Hosni Mubarak will spend the rest of his life behind bars, some Egyptians feel that is not enough. After Saturday's verdict, protesters called for Mubarak's execution. They held shoes and a noose outside the courthouse in defiance of the old regime. Some observers, however, said justice had been served.
I think this verdict against President Mubarak certainly instructs us all that leaders are not immune from prosecution.
But it was a mixed verdict. The judge cleared Mubarak's sons and several aides of corruption charges. The acquittals led to chaos in the courtroom, led by people who felt the court had gone too easy on Mubarak's sons and associates.
The people demand the cleansing of the judiciary because this is all considered part of a very, very corrupt regime that remains very much in place.
Mubarak ruled Egypt for 3 decades. He stepped down last February. On Saturday, the judge said Mubarak's rule was 30 years of dark without hope. Protests erupted in Tahrir Square, where the revolution began.
But this is by way of showing you that people want to go on the street and demonstrate against what they consider a great injustice.
Mubarak's attorney says he plans to appeal the judge's decision. Melissa Rainey for KRON4 News.
The second part of a toll increase on Bay Area bridges will soon take effect. Coming up, how much more some drivers will soon be paying. Stay with us. We're back right after this. A group of volunteers in the East Bay is helping make affordable housing for needy families. KRON4's Jeff Pierce talked to several families who now have a new place to call home.
A new neighborhood was created in Bay Point when friends and family gathered to help 9 new homeowners move into new homes this Saturday morning.
This home will allow me to give my daughter her own room. Right now we share a room.
For all 9 families, the dream of home ownership had always seemed out of reach and their circumstances dire.
Cramped up in a 1-bedroom apartment with mold, with absentee landlords.
A condo complex, and you couldn't see the kids. She would have to go to the next complex to play because our complex didn't like children playing in the area.
My daughter and I found ourselves homeless, living in a homeless shelter.
The homes were built by Habitat for Humanity East Bay, and on this day they celebrated this new neighborhood. All 9 new homeowners could take ownership on the same day because everyone came together to finish all the homes at the same time.
And homeowners buy their homes with a no-profit loan, 0 interest, and part of what they do is put in sweat equity to help build these homes. So each of these families has put in a minimum of 500 hours of sweat equity to help build their homes and the homes of their neighbors.
I built this, I laid the concrete, me and a bunch of other volunteers, we did the trimming, we painted these homes.
We grouted this floor that we're standing on. We did caulking, painting, scraping.
Working on all the homes on their street meant the new homeowners labored with each other while their homes were being built.
While we're building the physical community, we're also building the human community. And when Habitat is done and we step away, we want these families very connected so that they can create their own community and their own neighborhood.
On this day of celebration, each homeowner received a symbolic key to both their homes and their neighborhood.
This means we're at home.
And I'm loving it.
In Bay Point, Jeff Pierce, KRON4 News.
A Sacramento County Sheriff's deputy has pleaded not guilty to what prosecutors are calling an illegal gun buying scheme. 2 deputies are accused of purchasing firearms that only law enforcement officials are supposed to have and then selling them to the public. Investigators say one of those guns ended up in the hands of a convicted felon, and more of the weapons were found during a shooting investigation. Officers in Southern California had an easy time tracking down suspected Little League concession stand thieves. They say a trail of Doritos, Oreos, and Cheetos led them to a nearby home. Police say if it wasn't for the snacks, the 4 suspects may have gotten away.
Searching the area, officers found several similar snacks behind a vehicle parked just a couple blocks from the park. Contacted the owner of the vehicle, and they're currently investigating and talking to several potential suspects.
Inside the home, they found a stolen cash register with the cash still inside. And better late than never, a cookbook was returned to the San Francisco Public Library Friday. You see it right there. More than 37 years overdue. It came in the mail, complete with the original checkout slip from the Presidio branch. The due date, November 27th, 1974. And a yellow Post-it note that said, "Dear SF Library, sorry we had this for so long." The branch manager says there will not be a late fee.
Well, I'm glad they apologized, and they were off the hook for the late fee. I'd really be worried about that. 37 years. Oh, by the way, today, Union Street Fair, San Francisco, beautiful day. We had lots of fog this morning, but by the afternoon, the sunshine was out. Great food, great music on Union Street. It happens again tomorrow. And right now, live at the Golden Gate Bridge, we have lots of fog out there for this evening, not only on the span, but in the city of San Francisco. That fog is heading inland very quickly for tonight. Already some fog into the Livermore Valley and gusty winds. SFO right now, winds to 26 miles per hour. Earlier today, those winds were up around 45. So it still is windy, and those winds bringing in the cool air right into the bay. And that's going to be the story for tomorrow. Now, for tonight, midnight, low clouds pushing inland. For tomorrow morning, we'll see the fog early on, but I think the clouds should clear away more quickly tomorrow. I think by 9 a.m., most of the fog should be gone, with the exception of the coast. Then sunny and breezy into the afternoon, not quite as windy as what we saw today. Now, because there will be a little bit more sunshine tomorrow, temperatures up a few degrees here in the South Bay, mid to upper 70s and low 80s. For the East Bay, warmest spots in the mid 80s, about what we had today. Low 70s Bay Shore. For San Francisco, look for a high of 65 degrees. Upper 70s, low 80s. North Bay Valley's a beautiful day. San Mateo 72, and then on Monday, a big change. That storm I was telling you about earlier in the show, that arrives on Monday with the chance for some light rain Monday morning, maybe into Monday afternoon, just a few hundredths of an inch, along with some gusty winds. There may even be a thunderstorm, and much cooler temperatures. Warmest places just in the 60s. Another cool day for Tuesday with sunshine, but then warming up for the rest of the week. Grant?
Brian, if you want to tow your boat or camper across the Bay Bridge, you're going to be paying a whole lot more starting July 1st. That's when the second part of a toll increase passed in 2010 is taking effect. It applies to any vehicle with 3 or more axles crossing one of the region's 7 state-owned bridges. The new price, $5 per axle, with a maximum amount of $35. On the Golden Gate Bridge, vehicles will pay $6 per axle over 3 axles. That price is $1 cheaper with Fast Track. The maximum toll on the Golden Gate is $42.
Coming up? Oh, wait, I forgot. But I'm not the only one being forgetful. I'll take you to the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza to show you a lot of absent-minded drivers in the next edition of People Behaving Badly.
Here's Stanley Roberts, who found some people behaving badly.
Let's face it, we all forget things. This woman forgot her purse within the backseat of her car the moment she got at the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza. This driver forgot that you just can't back up out of a fast track lane simply because you need to pay cash. In fact, the driver kept backing up for quite a while. Then finally pulled into a cash-paying lane. This driver forgot the no texting law. In fact, in the process, she forgot to hold onto the steering wheel, but then remembered for a brief second, then forgot again. This woman obviously forgot about the hands-free law since she has a cell phone firmly attached to her ear. Hey, wait, maybe the phone is stuck there, and she's looking at me as a sign she needs help getting it unattached. Quite a few drivers forgot that you just can't cross over multiple traffic lanes simply because you see a shorter line. And you absolutely cannot cross over the delineators just because they have been torn off the ground. Forgotten by more drivers than I can count. It can get pretty scary out there at the toll plaza. But you're not the only one forgetting things. This toll collector forgot to close her lane, so it can be converted to carpool. And someone forgot to turn on the carpool lanes until well after 3 p.m. What a forgetful world we live in. At the, where am I? Oh snap, I almost forgot. At the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza, Stanley Roberts, KRON4 News.
Stanley busted out "Oh snap" for us.
Good stuff.
Have a great night.